So, with all of the stuff that's going on with Prince Harry and Meghan, especially with the Netflix deal, it just got me thinking about, his current status in the U.S. And I remember when he left, his last speech he made, he said he will still remain, whatever, the Queen will still be his commander in chief, which means to me that he will still be remain a UK citizen. So it got me thinking with all of the stuff that's going on right now with the deal and money, taxes, and all of that. So I wrote here just a search Prince Harry US residency to see what came up. So here it says Prince Harry can adjust his status to lawful permanent residency if he is in the United States at the time the Duchess filed the I-130 petition. I don't know what that is. I could look more into it, but I want to focus on his residency and tax kind of thing. In this category, he will be exempt from certain bars, such as unauthorized employment or overstaying his time of admission. Hmm. So maybe does Prince Harry need a visa? Alright, let me click this and see what happened. Okay, so this thing, let me copy the link first so you guys could see it yourself. I don't know when I'm gonna edit this, but I want to just look into stuff. Alright, so I don't think you will see this as I'm doing it, but maybe you will see that. Control V, enter, and let me save it so it doesn't disappear. Okay, so the thing says the royal are coming. Does Prince Harry need a visa? With a rumor swirling, Prince Harry and Meghan Markle, the Duke of Duchess of Sussex, all resigned their royal duties to live part-time and to live. Oh my God, to live part-time in the United States. Will the prince need visa? As a British diplomat, Prince Harry can enter the United States on A1 visa. He should not use the B1, B2 visitor visa or the visa waiver program. However, with the abdication of his royal duties, this will no longer be a viable option, especially if he plans to work and reside in the U.S. permanently. So what are his other options? Option for a temporary visa. One option for Prince Harry is to apply for an O1 visa based on his extraordinary ability and business. He founded the Invictus Game, which allowed the power of sports to inspire recovery, support rehabilitation, and generate a wider understanding and respect for wounded, injured, and sick servicemen and women. The games include wheelchair basketball, sitting, volleyball, and indoor rowing. Prince Harry was inspired after a trip to the United States to attend the Warrior Games, where he saw how the power of sport could help in recovery physically, psychologically, and socially. The drawback with the O visa is that it is temporary in nature, and his initial stay will be granted for up to 3 years. That's not bad. 3 years is not bad, with each renewal an increment of 1 year. Prince Harry's employment will be restricted to the profession and events for which his visa was granted. So if he does that, okay. But some stuff can be probably fall under his wife. So they will have to make some sort of a deal, if things don't. Oh, and I don't want to say anything negative here. So 3 years he could stay, and every year he renew it, and he does that thing, and Meghan could do that thing they do with Netflix, and but together they have the money. I'm sure they hire the people to take care of all of this. Lawful permanent resident status. Another option that does not expire is the EB1 visa for extraordinary ability in the science, art, education, business, or athletics through sustained national or international acclaim. Upon approval, Prince Harry will receive lawful permanent resident status, green card. This visa will be attainable for the prince because of his successful creation of the Invictus Games. The first event was held in London, England 2014, and the second game were brought to Orlando, Florida. The opening ceremony was well attended, including such dignitaries as former U.S. President George W. Bush and First Lady Michelle Obama. And 2020 game will be played this May in Hague, Netherlands. Prince Harry remained active with the Invictus Game and is the patron. If the prince does not meet the strict requirement of the first preference EB1, Prince Harry could also seek permanent resident status by applying for EB2 visa and filing a national interest waiver. In doing so, he is requesting that the labor certification to be waived because it is in the interest of the United States. Though the jobs that qualify for national interest waiver are not defined by statute. National interest waivers are usually granted to those who have exceptional ability, see above, and whose employment in the United States will greatly benefit the nation. Prince Harry may self-petition and does not need an employer to sponsor him. He may file his waiver directly with USCIS along with Form I-140 petition for alien worker. If the aforementioned is not appealing, the Royal Prince can pursue a EB5 immigrant investor program which afford permanent residence so long as the following criteria are met. Investment is made and the commercial enterprise is based in the United States. There it is. The initial investment either total $1 million or $500,000 and a higher unemployment or rural area, otherwise known as the targeted employment area. Okay, that seems to be what under that criteria. The investment include a plan to either create or preserve at least 10 permanent full-time jobs for qualified workers living in the United States within 2 years. The 10 permanent full-time jobs are not given to the spouse or children of the investor. Obviously, Archie cannot work. So I think that's probably it. This seems to fall under the thing that's going on right now with the Netflix and everything. Due to the backlog of the EB5 cases and the fact that initially the applicant is only granted a conditional green card, this is not the ideal path for lawful permanent resident status. And I don't think he's looking for permanent status because he travels a lot. So the easiest and faster route is for the Duchess to sponsor her husband for the green card as the network keep on messing up. The easiest, fastest route is for the Duchess to sponsor her husband for the green card as an immediate relative. Prince Harry can adjust his status to lawful permanent residence if he is in the United States at the time Duchess filed the I-130 petition. In this category, he will exempt from certain bars, such as unauthorized employment or overstaying his time or admission. The prince can also work and travel while his adjustment application. What the hell? Application, where is it? This thing is messing me up. Unauthorized employment, overstaying his time. Application is pending by filing an I-76 T5 application for work authorization and I-131 application for the advanced parole, respectively. What is baby Archie's status? On May 6, 2019, Archie Harrison Mountbatten Windsor, the son of Prince Harry, the Duke of Sussex, and Meghan, the Duchess, was born in London, England. By all accounts, it appears that baby Archie is currently living outside the United States. That was before now. We're in September now, September 2020. So they are in the United States. Just in case you guys are reading this several years later after I make it. They all are living in LA. They bought a home in Monticello, California, and baby Archie is with them. So as of 2020, they're in the United States. But he should be able to obtain the derivative U.S. citizenship under Section 322 of the INA, Archie is eligible for naturalization if all of the following conditions have been met. The child has at least one parent, including an adoptive parent, who is a U.S. citizen by birth or through naturalization. Okay, so that's Meghan. The child's U.S. citizen parent or U.S. citizen grandparent meet specific physical presence required met in the United States or outlying possession. The child is under 18 years of age. Okay, he just turned 1. The child is residing outside the United States in the legal and physical custody of the U.S. citizen parent or of person who does not object to the application if the U.S. citizen parent is deceased and the child is lawfully admitted, physically present, and maintaining lawful status in the United States at the time the application is approved and the time of naturalization. Only time will tell if Duke of and Duchess will settle in the United States. Okay, they're already there. They bought a home, or relocate to Canada and make that their permanent home by immigrating under one or three broad categories: economy, immigration, family reunification, and humanitarian consideration. So I see here baby Archie is fine because of Meghan. I think this is the one he's probably gonna fall under because I don't think he wants to get a green card or anything like that. This is where he fall. The money thing, investment, he's gonna be hiring people. He probably have several American people working for him right now. So I think the EB-5 Immigrant Investor Program, that's the one I think he could fall under. So let me see, what else do we have here? Will Prince Harry pay U.S. taxes or need visa? Town and country. Let's check this. 12 minutes already. Okay, copy. Okay, the link. Copy. Enter. Save. Okay. What is this? Prince Harry is living in the U.S. How will that affect his taxes and immigration status? Let's see. Prince Harry and Meghan Markle have now transitioned to their new arrangement after officially stepping back from their royal role on April 1st, and they're beginning this new era in sunny Los Angeles, Meghan's hometown. While this is an easy move, legally speaking, for both Meghan and little Archie, both of whom are U.S. citizens, okay, because even though Archie was born in the UK, because of Meghan, the mother, who is a U.S. citizen, Archie is a citizen too. It's a little more complicated for Harry. The prince's financial situation and more could soon change drastically, if, that is, he and his family plan to settle in America for the long haul. Here are the tax immigration hurdles that Prince Harry will have to overcome should he choose to stay. If Harry lives here for too long, he'll have to pony up for U.S. taxes. Whether or not someone is considered a U.S. resident for tax purposes is dependent on how many days they spend in the country. A somewhat complicated formula is used to calculate the requisite number of days. If a person has spent 31 days in the U.S. during the current year and a total of 183 days during the current year and the 2 years prior, though the days from those 2 previous years each count less than a full day. What the fuck is this? What did I just read? Each day in the previous year counts of 1/3 of a day, and each day in the year before that count 1/6 of a day. They're considered a resident. Okay, I'm just reading it. You guys make sense out of it. I can't explain. An easy shortcut, explained Dan Mahoney, a lawyer specializing in international tax planning, is to make sure not to spend more than 121 days in the U.S. Okay, but as Henry Bobel, a lawyer who works with wealthy and cross-border families, explained, there is a way to bump up that number. If he's able to show that he has a closer connection with England, then he could stay more days under the U.S.-UK tax treaty. Okay, Bobel said, estimating that the prince might be able to get up to around 150 days. Okay, don't know how this works. I'm just reading it. This argument is made a little more complicated during giving Harry's well-publicized decision to step back from his role as a senior royal, a move that could be seen as a decisive split with the United Kingdom. Note Meghan. Still, he and Meghan have retained a residency in the UK, Frogmore Cottage and Windsor, and have repeatedly expressed a desire to support the Queen and the Commonwealth. Okay? Mahoney believes that especially in 2020, this could be Harry's out. Honestly, if he's less than 183 days, I think that is very likely a strong argument, Mahoney said, adding someone who has spent very little time in Los Angeles until 2020 and was essentially trapped here because of the way the world has shut down. You have a compelling argument that you're not truly a resident of the United States. So, interesting, the ongoing pandemic could help Harry's case. Huh, interesting. But it will be hard to use this going forward. If you try to claim it too many years in a row, at a certain point, the IRS is going to say, no, you don't have a closer connection to another country because you're routinely spending 6 months a year in the United States, Mahoney said. There is also a possibility of Harry pursuing tiebreak position under the US-UK treaty, which will allow someone who accidentally become a resident, in other words, overstep the number of days allocated, to avoid US income taxes. There is also a downside to claiming this. While Harry will avoid paying taxes, he'll still have to file a boatload of paperwork and disclosures. You still have to file a myriad of information returns disclosing your worldwide assets, disclosing your trust position, disclosing your control foreign cooperation, disclosing your foreign investment, Mahoney said. And like claiming a closer connection to another country, the IRS is less likely to permit this each time it's claimed. Wow. I got a headache reading this. All this, of course, is still presuming that he spent less than half of the year in the U.S., and it's not clear at the moment if that's the case. Yes, this means the IRS might get a peek at the royal finances. Even if Harry has no income, if he is required to file in the US, he'll have to disclose information about his bank account holdings that won't tell you anything else about the rest of the world's finances except by implication, Bubble says. However, if he were to beneficiary a trust where he received distribution from that trust while he was a resident, there'd be some complicated reporting and some complicated tax analysis that will have to be done. If Harry owned more than 10% of a foreign company, he had to file information about the company, which might shed some light depending on the company. Oh my goodness, too much paperwork. However, the royal's finances as a whole are opaque, and it's not clear if Prince Harry holds anything in his own name or is simply the beneficiary of trust. But Harry's taxes are also depending on immigration. There are a couple of visas that will exempt him from requirement outlined above, but they each come with their own challenges. Technically, Harry could go back to school to get around the limit. If he applied for a student visa and attend a qualified program, his days as a student will count toward the 120 days number. You'll be surprised, but many people his age group may do that. Just sign up and enroll, even in doctoral program, Bubble said. Harry never enrolled in university instead of pursuing a career in the military, so he'll be pursuing a bachelor's. Although it is a neat solution to his tax hole, Harry probably won't become a student anytime soon. Another option, obtaining diplomatic visa. Harry has certainly engaged in diplomatic activities in the past, but now he'll be stepped back from his senior royal role. And as Buckingham Palace has stated, he and Meghan can no longer formally represent the Queen. It seems unlikely that he'll be a diplomatic visa. That will be really at the discretion of the British government, explained Provisa Kahamet, a partner at immigration law firm Fragmore. He will have to be undertaking a role that's consistent with that of being a governmental representative. And really, a bubble notes, he's coming as a private citizen, not as a government official. And there are some taxes he'll never be able to avoid. Harry and Meghan have made it clear that they plan to earn their own income, and if that income is made in the US, they have to pay tax on it. For example, even before the Sussexes moved to LA, it was reported that Harry paid for a speech in Miami, unless it was to benefit a charity. That payment will be considered personal services income, and he will owe tax in the United States regardless of whether he was resident or non-resident. Mahini says, because it will be termed what we call U.S. source income. Taxes aside, if he wants to stay in the U.S. for a while, Harry will need a visa. All of the taxes scenario outlined above presume that Harry will want to avoid being classified as a resident, either in order to avoid taxes or simply because he doesn't plan to spend more than 120 days per year in the US, but it's not known what he and Meghan are planning for their future, and it's entirely within the realm of possibility that they're hoping to stay in LA for the long haul. If that's the case, Harry will need to deal with immigration. British citizens are able to stay in the US for 90 days, which is 3 months, at least 3 months, at the time under America's visa waiver program. Under that arrangement, he's not allowed to work. He's not allowed to reside or that sort of thing here, and he can't extend that time. But he can leave the US and then potentially return at a later date for another subsequent 90 days period, Kamal had said. That I sort of known about, you know. I used to think every 6 months, but it's 3 months. Okay, still, that's not a long-term solution. So it might work initially, but eventually, if he goes to spend a lot of time here, he's going to end up by going with one of the visa option or even applying for permanent resident, Kamal explained. In terms of visas, in addition to the student and diplomatic option above, Harry could pursue an O1 visa for individuals with extraordinary ability or achievement, said Kahamet. It is quite common for individuals to apply for O1 classification if they can show that they rise to a very high level of accomplishment in their field. Being famous alone won't be enough for Harry, but perhaps he could claim extraordinary achievement and philanthropic or something of the like. He also had to be able to show that he was working in that area of expertise while in the US. That's an easy thing right here. It's all over the news. And likely require an employer or organization to sponsor his application. The drawback of O1 is it does have to be renewed periodically, and it requires him to continue that relationship with that organization, Kahamet adds. So it's a visa that requires employment really. One organization that might work well, the nonprofit Harry and Meghan are planning to launch. Though details of the project are scarce thus far, it could theoretically provide the prince with a sponsorship he needs to obtain the O1. The organization will be such that there real structure around it, and it has payroll and other individual and maybe an actual office, physical office, Kahamet add as a caveat. More than just a shell company type of things. But yeah, it is possible for an organization that he and his wife established to sponsor him. Okay, see, oh my goodness, this is okay. Let's see, is there more? Okay, that will be the last one here. Harry could also pursue permanent residence. I don't think he wants to do that, but I'll read that anyway. This is where Meghan's American citizenship could really come in handy. As the spouse of a U.S. citizen, Harry is eligible. Oh my goodness, I can't read. Harry eligible to apply for permanent residency. though that will take a while. Under normal circumstances, an applicant will be looking at several months, given that the current pandemic has shuttered the U.S. consulates around the globe. It's even longer. It's not out of the question that Harry's application might be processed quicker than others, given his status, but there's no guarantee that it will be. The advantage, however, is that Harry won't have to work to continue living in the U.S. or worry about renewing a visa. Still, Karamet thinks it's unlikely he'll pursue this option for many, many reasons, not the least of which are tax related. It may be some time before the public learns of Harry and Meghan's long-term plan, but whatever scheme they're formulating now, they're surely taking these legal queries into account. Interesting. So I'll leave the link here in the description to check it out. And I had to think about all of this with all those deals that they're making. When you think about it, with all of those taxes they have to pay, I believe he might have to pay tax in England too, if he's keeping the status over there. So I believe he might have to pay tax in the US and in the UK. So when you think about that deal they just made with with Netflix, for their status, it's really not that much, to tell you the truth. For the average people like myself, it's huge. It's really huge. But for his status, the kind of work that he does, the taxes that he has to pay, he probably have to pay the UK and the US tax too. So a good chunk of that money is gonna be going to taxes. So yeah, I just had to look into that, and I still didn't fully get the full answer. Well, he will have to come out and say this is what he's doing. So all of these are speculation. So nobody will know unless they come out and say this is what we pursue. But I'm pretty sure he has good lawyers to work all these maneuvers out for him with the foundation Archwell that is creating. So all this probably gonna go under the umbrella of everything that he does. So all these, I'm sure, have been talked about, and I have a feeling they already know what they're doing, because since they bought the house, that means they have a solution. They just need the organization to pretty much come out, the application process and all of this. So yeah, I just had to look at this and see what's going on, what are some options. So again, check the description for all the links. You could check them out yourself. And also, please, I really urge you guys to keep checking your notification, your subscription. See if you still subscribe to my channel, because YouTube is doing some funny things. And I'm not the only one who's going through it. Hugo's channel is going through it. And yesterday, September 2nd, right before my eyes, numbers were changing in front of me. So it's not like these numbers I cannot change. I don't have access to those numbers. It's either you watch those videos, the numbers would automatically change, or someone who have access to these things, those really back end of YouTube, to make those changes. I can make those changes myself. So these changes were happening right in front of me, and there's nothing I can do about it. But I really suggest you to keep on checking your subscription, and your support really means a lot to me. And some of you who are commenting on my videos, I appreciate it. As you can see, I always interact with you. You guys shed light to a lot of things that I talk about, and you make me see certain things, you correct me on certain things. So I like the conversation we have on the comment section. So it's not like I know everything. So I'm just putting things out, and you guys enjoy them and correct me when I'm wrong. All right, so that's it. Enough sentimental. Thanks for watching anyway.